What do realtors want from lenders and loan officers? I was going to sing that little song, What a Girl Wants, except that the copyright people would totally come take me down, and some of y'all might cry a little bit. So I want to answer for you a big question that I get from lenders and loan officers in the mortgage business, and that's, how do we get your business? Well, actually, I take that back because very few ask me how to get my business. They just tell me they want my business. Two different things, y'all. If you're telling somebody something, that's not inviting a response. Asking does. Curiosity is one of the best tools you have, well, in life, but especially in business. So right now, in the time that I'm recording this, in the middle of 2023, there are very few mortgage loans in the pipeline as compared to what was there a year or 2 years ago. And if you're wondering why, it's twofold. First of all, inventory continues to be at really low levels. And second of all, interest rates are up. So that means that home buying activity is still happening. It's just a little suppressed right now. Now, our lenders, a year and a half ago, they still had refinance activity. However, right now, we don't have a whole lot of people wanting to turn their 2.75% rate into a 7% rate. It's just not a realistic endeavor, which means our loan officers and our mortgages are a little bit stressed right now. So we get more and more phone calls from lenders and loan officers wanting to get the business of busy realtors. And that's wonderful. I appreciate the outreach. But let me talk to you a little bit about what does and doesn't work. First of all, please don't prospect me or any other residential realtor with rate sheets. If somebody is brand new in the business, they might need that, but even then, they should know that the rate's fairly irrelevant right this minute unless we have somebody locking their loan right this minute. And if you happen to be a consumer who watches my channel for whatever reason, you should know that the lock is when you as a buyer get your rate nailed down so that even if it fluctuates in the market, you can have something you can expect. And that's an important moment in the life of your loan. Now, what that means is the rates are going to move, and they lock it because they move. So if you bring me a rate sheet as a lender, you're assuming that I don't really have any need for good information, or you're assuming that I need to lock loans right now. But if I'm locking a buyer right now, spoiler alert, they already pre-approved with somebody else because we start the lending process way earlier in the life cycle of a buyer. So here's what I want to suggest to you. Instead of sending rate sheets, first of all, ask me what would be helpful. I can tell you, as an independent broker owner of a wee tiny boutique with mighty market share, my agents love information they can get on the phone with. And what they are curious about right now is what you're seeing in the economy as goes with predictions on interest rates. And whether or not you want to, you should have an opinion about this. You don't just listen to some big economist. You should have your own opinions. And as a realtor, I want to hear what my lenders think because they are looking at what we call warehouse lines. Your banks have to have money to lend out. And the money supply, while it can be increased from Washington, D.C. when they print from the Treasury and from the Fed, in the lending space, it can also be constricted. And one of the ways that it gets constricted, I'll do a video about this later because it's kind of nerdy, but Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, your government-sanctioned entities, have a lot of say over the money that's loaned out in the country. And so we have to pay attention to those trends because it can impact which lenders have money to lend and which ones don't. If you ever wondered why most residential realtors don't have Wells Fargo and Bank of America at the top of their preferred lender list, it's because Wells Fargo and Bank of America don't really want purchase money right now. They're doing different things in the lending space. If I am working with somebody wanting to buy a house right here in Cabarrus County, that's not going to be the best thing for them. So as a residential pro, my job is to figure out the best options. So this goes back to the heart of it. Do you have information that would help you be the best choice for somebody who's buying right here in Cabarrus County? Are you local to here in Cabarrus County? Because I'm probably going to ask you as a mortgage lender, where do you live? And if you're thinking it doesn't matter, everybody's online, we work from home, we have the internet, I feel you on that. But I like it when my clients run into their mortgage lender in public. That's actually a really good thing because it holds us all to a higher level of accountability, but it also makes the community feel more tightly woven, and that's a really good thing. So that's a question I'm going to ask, but then I'm still really curious, why? Why you? There's thousands of options right here in the greater Charlotte area. Why you? And I find that many lenders just don't have a good answer to that question. And spoiler alert, a lot of realtors don't have a good answer to that question either. And by the way, watch some of these videos, realtor friends, if you want to make sure you've got your own value proposition nailed down. So here's what I would ask you. As a tiny boutique with mighty market share, I want to give my agents information they can take out into the public. Right now, there are questions about how do you buy with a high interest rate. Now, whether or not you think 7 is high, it's high as compared to where we were a year and a half ago when we were at 3. And it's high compared to where we were, well, since 2008, we've had artificially low rates. And so what buyers want to know is how. They want to know about buy downs. They want to know about closing costs. They want to know about down payment requirements. They want to know what this all means to them. If you are a loan officer or a lender who is good at education, tell realtors that. We want you to know that we bring something to the table, and we want to know what you're bringing to the table besides here's a link where you can apply for a loan. I'll actually give you an example of this. I was at an event, and there was a first-time buyer in the room. A lender walked in. He was the preferred lender of the other agent in the room. We were working together in an educational process. And when he walked in, this other agent said, "Oh, fantastic, he's here, he can answer some questions for you." Because this first-time buyer was now thinking about a duplex, because that's the seed I like to plant with first-time people, is think about multifamily. And his response to her, "Once you go to my website and fill out some information, then I can talk to you." I just don't think that's the most effective way to reach somebody in today's world. Right now, people can go online and get information from me, a stranger. They're not in Cabarrus County, and they want to know what it means where they are. Well, if you are in the room with somebody, you've got a really good opportunity to bring them around. So why not use that opportunity to say, "Hey, talk to me a little bit. I want to know more about your job history. I want to know about your credit profile. Have you checked it?" There are identity theft services like LifeLock. Many of buyers know what their credit score is, but they don't know what it means. And so if you're a mortgage lender and we let you get in front of us or a buyer, first of all, that's a great angle to talk about, is credit scores and where the break points are with specific loan products. Maybe the FHA number is this and the VA number is over here and conventional's here. And then there's a special DPA program here. Maybe there's a first responder program. We don't know that as the practicing realtor, but our loan officer should. What a great sales meeting that would be, to give us the secrets on credit scores, and then to give us information that would say, if somebody's at 720, how do we get them to 740? Come bring us some information. In fact, I did a giant video with one of my preferred lenders and with another lender in his company talking about credit scores and some of the ins and outs and tricks, and it has helped people get ready to buy a house with us, and I love that. In fact, everything should revolve around that, shouldn't it? How do we get more people in this pathway to homeownership? This is National Homeownership Month. You're a lender. Don't just let that be something that realtors talk about. Let that be something that you talk about, where you say, how do I help you get ready to get on that pathway? How do I give you some peace of mind about how the money works, how the mortgage works, what you should read in the national news and what you should not read? There is so much opportunity there. Now, speaking of that opportunity, I can also tell you that as a lending partner, if you want to come to my office and do a lunch and learn, ask us what kind of food you ought to bring in. Now, you can, of course, always bring Chick-fil-A. That's always going to be a yes. We all love the Lord's chicken, but you should also know if our office is trying to pursue a healthier lifestyle. If you bring my office a bunch of baked goods and Danish, they're not going to love it as much as if you brought us a fruit platter, because half of my office is continually making efforts to live and eat a little bit healthier. And we don't always succeed, let's be honest, but if you can support us in that journey, that also tells me what you're going to say to our buyers when they talk to you, that you're going to ask them where they are and you're going to support them in their journey. And support looks like a lot of different things. So what I would say this boils down to is, A, the relationship matters between realtor and loan officer, and we value you, and we hope you value what we bring to the table as well. And the second thing I want you to take away is that we desire more knowledge. We want to be the best practitioners in the marketplace, and that means we have to have the very best partners with us. So show me what you bring to the table. And the third thing I want you to know is that, bring Chick-fil-A. For more information, click on some of these links and let us know how we can help, because this is one reason you call us, Mr. and Ms. Buyer out there watching this. I got a guy.